Hello, everyone. It's me, KJ, the host of Great Talk and Entertainment Official Channel. And today's video is my top 10 anime shows and movies that I recommend that you check out and watch. So, the reason why I'm making this is this year, the big popular streaming service has added more anime to their catalog. And some of these are new, some of these old. And the reason why I want to make these is because some of y'all may not have had access to these, but now they're on available streaming platforms on the popular ones. So definitely want to make these for the hardcore fans of anime and people who are not a fan of anime but may want to start getting into it. Let me be the one to give you some recommendations. So let's start off with number one. Number one, Overlord. It's available on Netflix and Hulu. And what's great about this show is if you're a fan of Sword Art Line, you're gonna love this. It's a little bit different with Sword Art Line. This was about, well, not too different, but the difference was Sword Art Line was about getting out of the video game, trying to escape. Overlord is somebody getting trapped into that video game world and they're deciding that they don't want to leave. They want to stay and be ruler of this medieval futuristic kingdom in this video game world where it's like a RPG slash a open world type game. And if at first it doesn't sound good, right? But as soon as you start watching a few episodes, you're gonna love it. Like there's love, there's drama, there's goofiness, especially with the filler up episodes, just like any typical anime. You find yourself just enjoying the battle scene, the art to it, the animation is pretty standard to what today anime is in a sense. Not all of it, but just some, just some. And it's really addicting. Once you start watching like the first episode, you really can't stop watching. It's something you could binge watch if you wanted to. Even if you watch all the seasons, like Netflix only has a few, but I believe Hulu has all the seasons. So if you watch it on Hulu, you can definitely binge watch it if you have the time. But I would recommend checking that out. Which we go to number two, The Rising of the Shield Hero. This one's available on Netflix and Hulu. Now, this one's a little different. The way I explain how Sword of Art Line is, right? They put on the VR headset and they get trapped into that open video game world slash RPG type style. RPG, sorry. RPG style. This one's just like that, but the only difference is this group of people go to their local library and find a magical book and then they get trapped into this. Now, the main character is the one with the shield. He's the underdog. And this is about him. It's like everybody else is cooler than him because everybody else has the cool weapons, the swords, the arrows, the bone arrows, I should say. The cool outfits, and this guy's just a shield. It's not even like a Captain America shield. It's just a shield, and everybody makes fun of him about it because it's like one's popular and one's not, and he wants to leave, but everybody else wants to stay and live their life in this new video game world that they came across. And they have that video game where you can go through your inventory and check your stats, upgrade your outfits and weapons, and it's it pretty much tells a story of playing one of those video games where you have to go out there in the open world and grind and grind and grind and collect and do side missions on side missions to get the good outfits, the good weapons, the good abilities to do things. And of course, they have a great medieval battle scene. It's like medieval time in this game world as well, just like Overlord. And it's really fun to watch. This one's my favorite. I didn't think I was gonna like this as much, but this one is my favorite. I put this in my top 5 anime of this year that I enjoyed, and I'll make a video for that later on. But this awesome. Definitely please, please, please check that one out. Now let's get to number 3. Now this one's called The Deer King. This one's on Netflix. Wasn't a fan of it. So the best way I can explain it is if you watch the FX slash Hulu original Shogun, it's just like that. That type of storytelling. The timeline period of when Japan was like that, right? But it's it has the samurais, it has the lords. It's very old school, right? And the story is pretty basic, but it wasn't as great. I feel like there's a lot of improvements that it needs. And it's easy to say, well, that's just typical Netflix. Yeah, that's true in the sense of it, but it wasn't their best. Like they have really good and Netflix does have original anime type films and shows. Sometimes they really got some bangers on there. But this one I wouldn't even put in the top 10. But I would still recommend to watch it because it gives you an idea of like, would you like this type of anime? Because there's other shows in the past that you would like, and if you kind of like this, I'm telling you, there's ones that are better than this. So definitely check it out, and then after you watch this, you'll find shows that they're just similar like this, but even better, like from the old school to the new school. So I would still say go watch it if you have the time. Now, number 4. This one is in my top 5 as well that I like watching this year. It's called Rising Impact. This one, woo-hoo-hoo, this is about golf and anime. Doesn't sound like they would mix up together, but guess what? It does. It's genius. Great story. I loved everything about it. If you ever played a Nintendo Super Mario Golf game in your life, it's just like that. The way they swing and hit them golf balls like that, unrealistic, over dramatic. Everybody's hitting these golf balls like out to another universe, to another country, like breaking supersonic sound barriers. Like what? And they're very stylish, very dramatic, very drama. And you're gonna love the main star of it, this kid who wants to be the best in the world when it comes to golf. You're gonna cheer for him because he's got the passion, he's got the dog in him. If you're a fan of Dragon Ball, if you're a fan of Naruto, Demon Slayer, if you're a fan of any like My Hero Academic, if you like those characters or who are the underdog, the little guy who gets beat up, and once you knock him down, they get back up and rise to the top of the occasion, you're gonna love Rising Impact. This is a Netflix original. They got 2 seasons out, and I think you're gonna love it. Definitely check this out. You will love it. This one's my favorite right now to watch, and I'm hoping Netflix gives me another season. Please, Netflix, please. I would want that. But definitely check that out. Now, let's get to number 5. 5 times. 5 times. That's for you, Adam. Suicide Squad Escape. Now, this one's on Max and on Hulu. So, either one. Now, for a while, this wasn't dub they're all dubbed now. I don't know about as I'm recording this, I don't know if episode 10 is dubbed. There's only 10 episodes, and there's only 1 season, I believe. And, well, I no, just 1 season, but I think number 10 was it. Episode 10 was it. But I'll figure that out later. But this one, you know what? DC Comics, Warner Brothers, they gotta do more of this. Now this one, it's a mixture to the people, to the viewers, to the other reviewers. Some loved it, some hated it. There was no in middle, but I think I'm one of the people who loved this. This is a typical Suicide Squad story that you would expect a Suicide Squad story would be about, whether you're reading the comic books, watching the movies, or if they ever make a live action TV show, which they probably will. But it'd be this type of story, right? But just imagine all in anime style. Now you're wondering, KJ, why do people not like this? Well, a lot of people have told me personally, like they wish they would have just done Gotham City, Metropolis, all the famous towns and cities that these DC characters live in, would just keep them in there instead of sending to another universe where it looks so anime type. They should have just made everything else just anime. They didn't need to do that. Some people just told me they didn't like the story arc to it. Some didn't like how they portrayed the Joker because I guess in this one the argument is the Joker cares about too many things, and that kind of defeats the purpose of the Joker. I kind of agree, but I really disagree the most because I didn't get that. I just think sometimes the dialogue that Joker said is just something the Joker would say to just to manipulate people. That's what I think, but I could be wrong. What do I know? But this one kind of resembles the James Gunn Suicide Squad because you get Peacemaker and King Shark, but you get like Rick Flag and uh, Deadshot. You get Croc in there as well, but and of course the one and only Harley Quinn, right? You get her. Harley Quinn is the star of this show, but let me tell you who stole the show. The surprising DC villain I've never expect to steal a show, and I don't even ever would ever think I'd become even more of a fan of this particular DC villain character, Clayface. He was funny. He was amazing. He uses the same exact powers, but some reason anime style it makes his power even cooler. Like this thing, his tragic is he's just so cool. He's so OP and it's ridiculous. It was man, so cool. So cool. Don't want to spoil it, but he stole the show. But I also really enjoyed too. I also just like the art to it. And I thought the background was cool. I thought the art, the animation style too was amazing. Like they put Warner Brothers put a lot into that one, and I think it's worth it. And I think this is a thing I believe Warner Brothers should stick to. Like they should do pick one year, whether next year, or the year after, and do a whole DC anime universe. Like use all the DC characters from superheroes to villains and do an anime style and just do that. I think that would be a banger. This would that'd be their best like universe if they did that. Like it'd be in the top 5 at least in people's opinion. Like they need to continue to do anime styles with DC characters. Like please Warner Brothers, please, please, please do it. This was beautiful. I loved it. And I hope they do a season 2 for this. And I hope they add more characters to it. Maybe some superheroes. Put some superheroes in it to stop the Suicide Squad. But you know what? I was shocked when it comes to the English dubbed. I'm really shocked that they didn't just put John Cena and have him voice Peacemaker. I love the guy who English dubbed him. Really great. I mean, he made him Peacemaker. He was Peacemaker. And he did things that you expect Peacemaker would do from what you saw from the Peacemaker show and the James Gunn Suicide Squad. But I'm just shocked that they didn't ask John Cena to do it. Maybe there's not in his contract. I don't know. Even though Runner Brothers literally owns DC, so why couldn't they not do it? But or and plus, I know he's retiring from pro wrestling, so he's gonna be on tour for a while on that. So maybe he just didn't have time to do it. But I would hope next year on season two. I think people would overlook it. Let's just have John Cena voice Peacemaker in an anime style. I think that'd be a banger. Like everybody would be subscribing to Max. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Now let's get to number 6. Justice League and RWBY Superheroes and the Huntsman Part 1. This one a banger. Again, DC Warner Brothers. Please do a whole anime universe. Like this was so good. This is a movie, by the way. This is a movie. This, oh my gosh. What a great story to tell. And my favorite part is the one and only it's Batman. The story they had for him in this movie, I loved it. It showed me another side of Bruce Wayne slash Batman that I never really looked at. They put him in a situation where I'm like, oh wow, so that's how he would feel. Who would expect him to do that? Like, and not to really spoil it, but basically the Justice League gets trapped into the universe that RWBY are in, right? And you know, how do they react to this universe? How do they react to their land? And it was neat. It was amazing. And Batman is Batman in this thing. Like he's such a he's so cool as a vigilante. I'm trying not to cuss so I don't get taken down on YouTube. But you would love it, which leads me to number 7, Justice League RWBY Part 2, Superheroes in the Huntsman. This one, they set it up where they can stop at Part 2, but Part 2 was even better than Part 1. And you know what? To kind of combine these two together, they had a lot of Justice League characters in there, but ones that you don't see a lot. You don't really hear the talk about. You never hear rumors if they ever do a live action for these particular DC characters and villains. But to see them using in this makes so much sense and why they would be the hero of this. And it's cool. Obviously, Batman, superhero, Superman, and Wonder Woman are the heroes, the leaders, the stars, basically. But there's some like there's a female Green Lantern. There's the Flash. Like you just, I don't want to spoil it, but like there's a lot that I think you guys would just love. So watching part one and part two, you're gonna love this. You really need to check these movies out. Like it was just again DC. Let's just make an animated universe at some point. Do it. Commit to it. You got this. Now let's go to number 8, Black Clover. Now watch this before you watch the Netflix version of this. This one's the one that came out way before Netflix. Obviously, this is an older anime as well, just like some of these are. Like Rising Impact is new, the Suicide Squad anime is new, and the two Justice League Part 1 and Part 2, they're new. Black Clover is an oldie but goldie, but really fun to watch. That is one of the best animes, and if you're a fan of One Piece, Dragon Ball, Naruto, and you're a fan of the motivational speech that you hear from these characters when they're about to battle, during a battle, this is that anime for you, and you're gonna love it. I still love it. This one's a classic anime to watch anytime. I don't care what year, I don't care how old you are. This is the anime you gotta watch. Like, watch it. You're gonna love it. It's available on Netflix and on Hulu. And I believe Hulu has more episodes or more seasons of of Black Clover. But I could be wrong. I didn't really count it like that, and I apologize. So, number 9. This one's a little strange. This one's a little strange. It's called the time that time I got reincarnated as a slime. Now, if you're a fan of that, you watch that Suicide Squad anime show, and if you like this, you're gonna love this. They're kind of similar in the sense of it, of the team up. The unusual people who team up. The outsiders, the weirdos. All of it doesn't make sense. As when I first watched this, I was a little hesitant because of the title. But as I got into it, I was like, okay, I like this. This is good. Great story. It'd be worth to watch it. Like, this one's a banger as well. Now, let's get to the final one. Hulu's original Tokyo Revenge. Now, if you like John Wick, if you like Demon Slayer, if you like One Piece, if you like Tokyo Ghoul, if you like shows like that, you're gonna love this. If you like best friends versus each other, brother versus brother, bro versus bro, this is up your alley. If you like the drama, if you love the romance, this is your this is up your alley. This this one, man, perfect. This one's a banger. This one has it all. And there's the filler ups. They have the filler ups where there's a lot of comedy, but the comedy is good. But always make sure this one doesn't have a lot of filler ups episodes, but but when they do, but every time those episodes are done, you go back straight to the main story. This one's really good with that versus the others, not including the DC ones, but the other ones have fillers. But this one's really good on lessening the fillers on that. So definitely worth watching. I love this one too. This one's in my Tokyo Revenge is in my top 5 of anime that I watched this year so far, and I loved it. So you're gonna love it. I honestly, to be honest with you guys, I'd watch this first before any other ones on this top 10. I would, I would say that I loved it, and you're gonna like it too. Especially, I mean, it has a lot. And I don't want to spoil it because if I talk too much about it, I start spoiling the main story. I start talking about the plot. And I want to ruin all the plot twists to it. So it's got a lot and definitely be worth it. So that is my top 10, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, listening. I hope that I'm the one that inspired you to check out any of these. And if you did, please let me know in the comments below what you thought, what you think. And tell me if any of these are your favorite. I want to know. Let me know. So thank you so much, guys. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Great Talking Entertainment official channel. Subscribe, hit that notification button so you can always be updated with all my latest content. Thank you, guys, and peace out.